The Philadelphia Eagles have found themselves a golden receiver. You see what I did there? Brendan Albert is here. I am Adrian Fecchio. There's Adrian with the corny lines as always. How's it going, pal?
Good, man. I love the fact that the NFL trade deadline has become like the NBA trade deadline, where we're seeing guys who are Pro Bowl level players getting traded. It's awesome. It's so much more exciting.
We're finally seeing rental players in the NFL. Howie Roseman is changing the game.
Yeah, we are. And I think, Adrian, a big reason for that is because of the compensation pick stuff. And
Yes.
I think a lot of people maybe don't really know a ton about it. So let me kind of give you guys a quick review on what the compensation pick means. So the compensation pick means your player on your roster leaves and signs another big-time deal with another team, okay? So if Golden Tate leaves, the maximum comp pick he can get is a third-round pick, meaning the maximum the Eagles can get back is a third-round pick. But he has to be paid as a top-tier level receiver. Now, what's tricky about this is the NFL has never publicly opened the doors and explained how this works. But so everything that you hear is based off of past. So, for example, if Golden Tate leaves the Eagles and signs with the Colts or the Ravens or the Jets for like $15 million a year, the Eagles have two options. They either can go obviously and pay another receiver or another player at a different position that $15 million. And if the Eagles do, they do not get a comp pick back. But if the Eagles do not, and the Eagles don't end up spending that $15 million, the Eagles would get a representative third-round pick, for example, from the NFL. It doesn't come from the Jets or the Colts or the Ravens. It comes from the NFL. That's why, guys, if you look at like the third, fourth, fifth, et cetera rounds, there's not 32 picks.
Yeah.
They're much larger. So is it possible for the Eagles to essentially rent Golden Tate and still get a third-round pick back? Yes, but there are some hypotheticals that would have to work out that way.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't think they're going to get a third because after reading Jimmy Kempski's piece, only 4 teams last year got a third-round compensatory pick, and I'm doubting that Golden Tate is going to get a huge contract. So I'm thinking like a 4th or 5th back.
Yeah, I think that's probably more realistic unless you get a team, again, like the Colts who has a shit ton of money and just got looking for an excuse to pay for a receiver, possible. But I agree with you, Adrian. I don't think it's extremely likely they get a third. 4th or 5th is probably more likely. Worst case scenario, of course, here.
Yeah. All right. So who is Golden Tate? We're going to tell you in a second. The first thing right away that catches your eye is his YAC ability, the quickness in the open field, the way that he can be so elusive in and out of his breaks, too, as a route runner. But we're going to start with the YAC. He leads the NFL in YAC yards since 2016. First play we're going to look at, against Dallas. Oh, yeah, against the Cowboys. We play them next. And we're going to see what Golden Tate did to them earlier this season.
Golden Tate took out some real estate in Dallas because he flat out owned the Cowboys in this game. But as we're going to kind of take a peek here from Golden Tate, his yards after the catch ability is so impressive here. This is a simple comeback route. Adrian, is the play time thing in the way right now?
Yes, it is. Is there a way you can move that? So I guess not. Okay, yes, you can.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Sorry about that. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Golden Tate at the bottom of the screen. Simple comeback route. I mean, this is – let's go back to the start of this play here, guys. This play is on third down. It's just, hey, let's get the first down and keep the drive alive. But Golden Tate has this unable ability to make the yards after the catch that's so rare. Great comeback route here. Makes this guy miss. It's a terrible tackle attempt here. I totally get it. But, I mean, Golden Tate's ability in the open field is so special.
It's the way he set him up.
100%.
That's what it was. And we're going to see the end zone angle here. So first, the beautiful route. You can see the route running right away, the quickness coming out of his breaks, and just the way he just moves right down the sideline, just glides for the touchdown.
He really is a really fluid player here. And you can see this here. Subtle bring comes in, no, I'm coming back out.
He's just toying with him.
Love it. He plays with the right level of prick in him.
Yeah. So here's what I want you to do with this play, okay? So I want you to play this a little bit. So I'm going to tell you when to stop, Brendan. I'm going to tell you when to stop.
Okay.
So I want you to click play. This play is remarkable to me. And
this third down play too.
Yeah. So, yeah, keep going. There, stop. Okay. So I'm going to ask the audience. I'm going to poll the audience. What's the likelihood that Golden Tate gets a first down here with 3 Packers defenders surrounding him? Now, you might think to yourself, well, it's probably high because why would you include this clip in your film study? Yes, you're right. But what are the odds that he's going to pick up this first down? This play is incredible to me.
No doubt about it, right? I mean, obviously, we're clickbaiting you. We're teasing you into a foreseeable answer. But Adrian's 100% right. I mean, you have 3 defenders on 1 receiver, and he's still about 6 yards shy. Yeah, as a defensive coach, I like my odds. But his wiggle here and the physicality that he plays with is so freaking rare to see from slot receivers and some smaller guys in the NFL.
You said he reminds you of Steve Smith. Why?
He's got that little level of prick in him, even though he's smaller here. I mean, look, most NFL receivers, they're content in these situations. Hey, I'm going to bounce out of bounds. I'm good. And it's not hard for little guys to make guys miss, but he runs with physicality. He runs angry, and you don't see that in little receivers.
Yeah, and he got the face mask, too, at the end of it. So, all right, so here's what we're going to do now. We got 3 more YAC clips. We're just going to kind of play this as we kind of talk over it. So you're going to see 3 plays. And what Brett and I are going to do, we're going to talk about why he's so special in terms of his YAC ability.
Absolutely. I mean, you see him on a shallow cross here. I mean, you talk about everyone says, okay, cool, shallow cross. Yeah, it's not really exciting. Here's what is exciting. This is not a fun route for a receiver to make. Going over the no man's land, this kind of sucks. I mean, this is the routes you hope that don't get called for you.
Yeah, because you're waiting for a middle linebacker to just hit you.
No doubt. And look, this is
there. It is. He's lining them up.
Dead to rights. But here's the subtle thing, right? A normal NFL receiver, ball probably goes down here at the 29, 30-yard line. But here's what makes Golden Tate that much better at that YAC. He's able to spin off 3 more yards. It's subtle things, but it's death by 1,000 paper cuts with Golden Tate because he does this type of stuff to you that suddenly you realize, wait a second, he got 4 yards on that yards after the contact? Absolutely, right there it was.
It's subtle, but on a 3rd and 4, when you need that extra yard to move the sticks, it matters.
Absolutely, because, I mean, look, Adrian, I think you and I would agree. Nelson Aguilar, yeah, he can make guys miss, but I'm not fearing him breaking tackles.
Yeah, and, you know, this kind of brings me back to a couple weeks ago when they couldn't finish off the Panthers. They weren't running the football. They were throwing a lot of screens. Well, you can throw screens to Golden Tate and pick up yards in the 4th quarter if you want to move that clock.
Absolutely. I mean, an underrated thing that we have to talk about here, the Eagles now have had 4 different running backs lead their team in rushing, okay, which tells you the Eagles clearly don't have a clear answer. That's fine, okay? But Golden Tate, he can line up in the backfield, and Adrian, I'd be fine if he took some carries too. He actually played a lot of running back at Notre Dame, so he has that ability there.
Yeah, and, you know, there was a clip I was going to show you guys where he was lined up in the backfield. Dallas was scrambling, trying to fit – because he shifted from the backfield to the slot. Dallas started scrambling as figuring out, you know, where's he going to go, where's he going to run, and they were trying to figure out how they wanted to cover him, and he beat him on a wheel route.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's that matchup ability of Golden Tate, and this is another good example of hit, spin forward.
Whoop.
All of a sudden, I'm getting that 4, 5, 6 yards that the quarterback shouldn't have those +6 yards on this reception. It's Golden Tate making things happen after the catch.
That elusiveness in the tight quarters, it's whoop! Oh my God, it's so awesome.
The only other receiver in the NFL who has this, in my opinion, is Jarvis Landry. I don't think there's many slot guys who can
Click pause, by the way, because that's our next play. All right, go ahead.
I don't think there's many guys in the NFL who can play in the slot that can make you miss and can break tackles. It just, you don't have a lot of them. So Jarvis Landry, Golden Tate, they're very, very special there.
Yeah, the elusiveness to make people miss and the toughness and physicality and fearlessness to drag defenders while they're on you, basically.
100% right. 100% right, Adrian.
All right, so next play we're going to look at. We're going to look at a little fearlessness here. So the hands on the wheel route, this is a remarkable catch here against the Jets along the left sideline.
You don't make this throw in between cover 2 and the whole shot, meaning between the corner and the safety, unless you know your receiver has a big set of balls and he's not afraid to take a hit, man.
And he's just outstretched. That's a beautiful catch.
It's a beautiful catch. It's hands-eye coordination, and it's the ability to be we call it a stab catch. You run, quick stab your hands really violently, get the football at the very last second, because that corner's reading your eyes. He's not, in a position where he's going to be seeing the football. So as soon as he sees your eyes widen, he sees your hands go out, corner is going to reflect. So it's that last second stab here, and I'll go back and give you guys a clear example of it.
Yep.
Last second stab is what makes this corner completely unable to have any idea of where the football is and how to play against that receiver's hands.
Yeah, so we'll let it play again. And this is a good throw from Stafford, too. Right on the money.
Yeah,
that's on your screen, Golden Tate.
One of the few good plays that the Lions had in this game.
Yeah. This is a big blowout by the Jets. I think it was like 48-17 if it was.
Bad, yeah, that way to start the season.
Woo-wee. All right. I don't know what this play. I don't know what I picked here. Which play is this? I think I screwed up here.
Well, let's talk about something really quick with the slot receivers here. Last year, I saw this awesome stat from ESPN. Last year, Carson Wentz had 16 touchdown passes to players in the slot. Adrian, take a guess. How many slot touchdown passes do you think Carson Wentz has this year?
Wait. 2?
1. That's it.
Only
one. And it's not like we're talking in week 3. And I know Carson missed some games at the start of the year, but that's a massive drop-off. Golden Tate's ability to own the slot is really going to be a great weapon there here.
Yeah, so which play is this one?
His fluid.
Oh, I know what this is. Okay, this was a great route. All right, so this is where we're going to talk about his route running ability.
And you notice him, no brake, all gas here, is able to hit the turn 100 mile an hour. There's no subtle slowdown. Bigger receivers typically need that because it just takes more time for a big body to slow down. But his ability to make 2 cuts there and still be at a full speed and then settle down just ever so slightly in the hole in the zone is exactly what you're looking for in a slot receiver.
Yeah, so he takes that outside stem initially and then that nice, beautiful break to the inside to get that separation at the top of the route. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So this is the play that I thought was coming next. So this is where we're going to talk about how and why he's so hard to reroute. His release, he's so quick off the line. You can't jam him.
You can't. And he's stout, and he's so freaking strong. When we talk about reroute here, guys, what this means is, and you're going to see it here from this nickel back here, the nickel's going to try to get his hands on the receiver and push him in, push him out, push him forward, push him backward, do anything to disrupt his landmark. Because you got to remember here, quarterbacks don't throw to receivers. They throw to landmarks. So these defensive backs are doing anything to mess up that timing. But what you're going to take a peek at here, even though we get hands on him at the 30, ideally you want to get a reroute maybe 2 yards in. But Golden Tate is lower than him because he's so small, but he's also powerful that he's not able to get pushed around. There is no move on that reroute, and that allows more timing for me to get up this field on that wheel route. And now it's a yards after catch game with Golden Tate.
Yeah, can you rewind that a little bit? Because I wanted to show this. Right after he makes the catch, look how quick he is to make that cut and that sharp angle he has to take to turn that corner on the defender. I thought that part of the play was pretty remarkable.
I agree, Adrian. And you know what? I feel pretty good that Nelson Aguilar athletically can run pretty darn good routes, pretty close to Golden Tate. But Nelson Aguilar gets rerouted here. That's the stat. Yeah. Nelson absolutely gets rerouted there.
It's right there, right after the catch, right there, that angle, and that safety is just done.
Yeah, and then it's the physicality that you don't see from normal slot receivers in the NFL.
Yeah, so we're going to see the end zone angle as well. So we'll see this play one more time. So I watching this play live, when I was doing the film study, I was kind of amazed by this play as well. This play and the Packers play were the two. So I mean, he's just outrunning 29. Who's 29? I
think it's Tart, I want to say.
Jaquiski Tart. Yeah, Jaquiski Tart just got manhandled. So, all right. So one final play. Eagles, they like to run a lot of this jet sweep action, the fly sweep action. And Golden Tate is a guy that can handle that load if you want to give him the rock. So he gets 30 yards, I think, on this play.
Absolutely. And again, why can he handle the rock? Because he has the athletic ability, he has the vision, but he also has the physicality. Could you run the vision and can you get the speed from Nelson Aguilar? Absolutely. Yeah, I think Nelson can do that, but doesn't bring the physicality here that Golden Tate does, because Nelson Aguilar would have been tackled several times by now. Golden Tate, not so much.
He just, Kiko just ran right by him.
And just think about this too. Like I talked about physicality, and I know I'm saying the term like run angry, and you don't really see that from offensive slot receivers, running backs, maybe some tight ends. That's fine. But on this clip here, I'm going to show you a clear example of what makes Golden Tate so much mentally different than all of the other NFL receivers. NFL receivers can do this. They have the speed, absolutely. Right here is the difference, though. Right now, an NFL receiver, he's hopping out of bounds.
That's a great point.
Making a business decision, saying, look, we've got the first down. We're good. Let's get out of bounds here. Let me get healthy. Golden Tate, nope, I'm going to drop the shoulder on you, and I'm going to give you that 7, 8 more yards. You don't get that from every other NFL receiver.
And he does snow angels. He does snow angels. How awesome is that?
He's got the right level of prick in him. I mean, I know that sounds like a funky terminology, but he just has the right level of prick in him.
So let's break down the snow angels at the end. I might have cut him off though here. Let's see. Yeah, I did, didn't I? No, I did. I cut off the snow angels. It's all right. It's all right. All right. So that's Golden Tate, and this is a good get for the Birds, and this is where we get to our discussion. Who won the trade deadline?
So there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here.
A lot of things happen.
I'm gonna say this. My winner of the trade deadline is the Washington Redskins because getting Clinton Dix for a 4th-round pick, who is arguably playing as the best safety in the NFL right now, for a 4th-round pick, that's a steal. I get it. You have to pay for him and all of that. It's fine, but he's still young. And quietly, Adrian, let's talk about the 5 running backs the Redskins just played the last several weeks. Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Mark Ingram. Who else did we have? I'm trying to remember. Some other big-name guys that's completely escaping my mind. Yeah. But no, in the last –
they played Zeke, too.
Zeke, that was it. Thank you, Adrian. When you look at those games and about last 80 carries, they've only allowed 162 yards rushing. So this defense for Washington is doing great in the front. And now they just bring in another Alabama safety or Alabama player. So Washington has done a great job there with the defense. That said, they're still not going to win the division, and you're still not going to make the playoffs. Okay, so I'm saying it's a great trade for you, but at best you're still going to be a wild card because the Eagles will still win the division.
Now let me clarify to the people out there: Brendan is not an Eagles fan.
No.
So there's no bias here. So you don't think the Redskins are going to win the division? Why?
No, because the Redskins. I mean, look, okay, like I get it. You have a really good defense, and I will 100% applaud that. Alex Smith is whatever to me. You have nothing on the receiving core that scares me. Your best running back is on the IR, and then Jordan Reed, he's due for his midseason injury, and it still hasn't happened yet. So I have nothing to really say I'm confident in Washington to say that I think they can win the division, Adrian. That said, I appreciate the fact that they're trying. I really do. I really do appreciate it, but it's still not going to matter.
Can Adrian Peterson keep handling the load?
There's people like Adrian Peterson and Tom Brady and those like freak of nature athletes that against all human odds, we said the answer is resounding no.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to bet against these cyborgs of creatures that are walking planet Earth, man.
You know what's funny? We're both wearing Redskins colors right now.
You are. Yeah.
Hail to the Redskins.
Hail to the Chief. I will say this, though. The second biggest team is the Eagles. I mean, bringing in Golden Tate for a 3rd-round pick for what he can do, short game. He can play in some running back situation in a couple snaps here and there if you want him to. I think that's a great pick there, too. So I really liked what they did. The only reason, Adrian, I like Washington did more is he's younger. I mean, it's so hard to find a free safety. And, Adrian, you and I know I was very vocal about the Eagles trying to get that single high safety. I think if you went back in time and you asked Eagles fans, would you trade a 4th-round pick for HaHa? I think almost the majority of Eagles fans, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, this upcoming draft, they have 10 picks remaining, so they only gave up 1. They better get a running back. They better get a safety. So, man, we profiled like 18 safeties, and they didn't pick one.
Yep.
Fuckers.
Yep. And again, you and me said the same thing. We were fine with the Dallas Goedert pick. Completely fine with it. But we both said this is more of a luxury. It's not a need. as long as you can address some things in safety, or the linebacking core was another thing I said, and the offensive line didn't really do it. That kind of bummed me out. I really wanted the Eagles to go, and you saw the report, Adrian, that they were rumored about trying to get Kelechi Osemele from the Raiders. I really wanted that move to happen because I think that's so important.
You called that last week. I was like, I don't know. I'd rather get a wideout or a running back. But you were all over that. Now, obviously, they had the injuries that occurred, but Osemele, I mean, I wouldn't have complained if they got him. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Adrian. And I think that when we look around the rest of the NFC, the Rams are the Rams. I mean, the Rams making that move for Dante Fowler, I don't think it affects the Eagles at all because – to be a bearer of bad news, you're not going to be the 1 seed. The Rams are. So that doesn't really affect you. Bringing Eli Apple to New Orleans, okay, that's a nice pick. I don't think it's an elite move, but I think it's fine. Atlanta didn't do anything. The Vikings didn't do anything. The Bears already made their move. The Lions were sellers. I mean, the Packers were a head-scratcher to me.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like, what the hell is that about?
I was cool with Ty Montgomery being traded for a box of used footballs.
Same.
But –
now I'm going ha at the Packers.
I didn't get it, man. I thought the Packers would have been buyers, not sellers at the deadline. That was my team, Adrian, of the NFC that I said was the biggest losers because when you have Rodgers, you're always a Super Bowl contender, and you were a seller. That didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. You know what I forgot to talk about in the film study? If Golden Tate can be an outside receiver. So, it's something that he did his first 2 years in Detroit, and then he went to the slot. The slot is where he is at his best. I will give you that. But can he play outside too? What do you think? Do you see him playing outside in Philly?
I see him absolutely having the ability to play outside. I think him and Nelson will pretty much split that evenly. Okay. I don't think that's a concern. I think the other thing we got to talk about too, when you look at Detroit, he played inside so much because they had Kenny Galladay and then they had Marvin Jones.
Exactly.
So, it was more of for the Lions, it makes more sense. For the Eagles, he can play slot, he can play outside, he can play running back. He can be a dynamic gadget.
Yeah, the reason why I made that point, there were a lot of people that were initially angry with the trade. So well, why would you trade for another slot receiver? You already have Nelson Aguilar. Well, there were two things. One, there weren't a lot of options out there. Because if the guy that they really wanted, I think, was Deshaun, but Tampa Bay didn't want to trade him. So they weren't going to get him. Demaryius Thomas is to me. And I don't think he's a great compliment to Jeffrey on the other side. So Golden Tate, maybe Emmanuel Sanders, those were the two guys out there. And they got Golden Tate. So I'm not going to complain. There were limited options available. You needed help desperately. You went and made a move. Don't complain.
I'm with you, Adrian. And even if you add in the Amari Cooper situation where that was supposedly a 2 from the Eagles, if you told me, look, we can give a 2 for Amari Cooper, a 3 for potential rental and Golden Tate, a 4 for DT, I'm honestly, honest to God, I will take the Golden Tate trade.
Golden Tate, absolutely.
And again, I hear people when they're saying, well, why would you trade for another slot receiver? You have Nelson. I hear that. But here's what you have to remember. Last year, 16 touchdowns to the slot. Right now, 1. Obviously, there's a problem in the slot. So if your mindset is Golden Tate only plays the slot, first off, I would disagree with you. But if that's your mindset, okay, then you also have to acknowledge the fact that there is 15 less touchdowns to the slot this year, which is a big, big drop-off. And bringing Golden Tate in is only going to help that, man.
Yeah, I agree. So I think we've covered everything on Golden Tate. I probably missed something, but we got the outside-inside thing out, so at least we got that. And I guess the only other thing, we kind of got into this a little bit, but the 3rd and 2s, the 3rd and 3s, the 3rd and 4s, the Eagles right now are not like they were last year on 3rd down. They've been inconsistent in that area. So Golden Tate is the guy. You need a first down on a 3rd and 4 crossing route, give it to Golden Tate.
Absolutely, man. I mean, look, Zach Ertz is still going to get his. Alshon's still going to get his. The only guy I worry about numbers-wise is Nelson. He's not going to get those snaps. But you know what? He hasn't been nearly as good as he was last year. So trading a 3rd for a Golden Tate is fine. And I think in the long term, the Eagles probably sign him for a 2, maybe 3 more years. And then you kind of move on after that. I
got one more question for you, if you don't mind. Do you have time?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Doug Peterson, how much change do you expect to see within the offense? Do you expect to see schematical changes?
I don't.
Okay.
I
So
don't.
you're
I
gonna
mean,
keep it the way it is, even though they're
yeah.
4-4.
I don't think there's going to be schematical changes. Will there be frequency changes? Will we see maybe more run game in the fourth quarter? Will we see more jet sweep action of Golden Tate and things like that? Yeah, probably.
Okay.
But I don't think there's any schematical changes. It also, this is an underlying thing, Adrian. It's fantastic you made the trade for Golden Tate when you have a bye week, too. I mean, that's so nice because you're going to look like Demaryius Thomas, he's going to struggle this week.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to look good in Houston. I'm telling you that right now.
Yep, I agree.
Will look great in a week, but it's because of the bye week.
Yep. All right, there it is. I got nothing else. You got anything else you want to say on Golden Tate?
That's it. Great job by the Eagles. I'm a huge Golden Tate fan.
All right. Well, get ready, Redskins. You're about to get hit with a golden shower in a few weeks. That's Brendan Albert. I'm Adrian Fedque. We got the PKT colors on and the Redskins colors on. Lovely. See ya.
Appreciate it, guys. Take care.